What's up, YouTube, friends and motorcycle enthusiasts? This is Accelerate coming at you up in the field. A little break in rain, so we're actually getting out to do a little more riding. So Davey came over. What's up, Davey? Came over and brought his 2019 Beta Xtrainer. This thing is so fresh and new. So I'm going to do a 5-minute review of the Beta Xtrainer. Don't quote me on that. I tend to be long-winded. So I've been riding the Xtrainer around just a little bit in this field, and we haven't done any trails yet or anything, but just hopping on it, I think I can give a little bit of first impressions. So first impression, I'll start with the chassis. So I have a 300RR, as many of you know, 2017. So some of the differences, obviously, between the Xtrainer, they say Beta quotes 10% smaller frame and lighter. That's per the Beta website. I've heard 15%, but I actually looked it up. It's at 10%. So the question is, can you feel it? I, for one, absolutely can feel it. Hopping between the my 300RR, which is a 17 before the frame change, and this 19 Xtrainer, it's considerably lighter. It feels lighter in my hands. It feels lighter, smaller between my knees, and also we adjusted his rear shock preload in the garage the other day, and I could literally toss this thing up on the stand like it's nothing. So it takes a little bit more effort with my 300RR. So yes, folks, noticeably lighter. Is it a huge difference? No. It's not a difference between riding like a 125, but it is a smaller frame, and I can tell. So the chassis feels great. Next, let's talk about the suspension. So as far as suspension goes, I know a lot of people bang on the Xtrainer for having that soft, plush suspension, but as many have said, the Xtrainer is not designed to be a race bike. It's designed for off-road riding and for beginners to quote-unquote break into enduro. So it is plush, damn it, and the name of the Shocker suspension is escaping me. I always want to say Versace, but that's the racing edition. And it's not, I can't remember, but Olay, that's it, got it. Olay suspension, which they make a lot of trial suspension. So what do I think about the suspension? Well, I'm 190-ish, 95 pounds, probably close to 200 with gear. This suspension feels great, guys. Davey, you're what, 210?
Yeah.
Plus gear?
Yep.
And he's loving it. You can see it just soak up the bumps. Now, if you were trying to go super fast or race it, I can see you finding the limits fast, but I really like the suspension on this thing. I'm a beginner. Davey's a beginner. We're average Joes in our 30s, breaking back into dirt bikes. So the plush suspension for me, fantastic. I love it. Next, let's talk about the motor. Oh, buddy. The motor on this thing is amazing. It is a Beta 300 two-stroke. Some will say it is, quote, detuned. So it does have slightly less compression than the 300RR. But as many can see from the pipe, it's tuned for torque and that luggability. And the luggability is freaking real, folks. No throttle. Oh, what do you know? I stalled it. The torque on this thing is fantastic. So one thing I will say, for all you guys that are getting your new Xtrainers or Betas delivered, double check your power valve if you're getting a two-stroke. So we ran into an issue whenever we received the bike. This thing's supposed to come with 3.5 turns in on the power valve, and it ended up being flush. So we're not 100% sure if that was the dealer that did it, or if it actually came from Beta across the pond on the boat that way. But Davey, my friend, learned really quick that flush, whenever you're first learning on a two-stroke, is not good on a 300 two-stroke. So he had a spill, recovered, got back out, got on the bike. And the first thing we did, like my 300, is turn that power valve in. So as far as the motor goes, this thing has how many hours on it, Davey?
2.
2 hours. It has 2 hours on it. So everything's still getting broke in. But even at 3.5 turns in, feels fantastic. Tons of torque. Very luggable. These Betas are so rideable. Yeah, really, really nice. So, the last thing I'll talk about, suspension, engine, frame, last thing I'll talk about is the value of this bike. This bike is a lot of bike for the value. Now, it is cheaper than your 300RR, but it's also smaller and lighter. And a lot of people say, well, they save money in the suspension, but at the same token, if the Olay suspension is what you're looking for, it's a no-brainer. You're literally just saving the money. So I personally think that this bike, fantastic value for what you get. The quality is there. The parts for what you get, it's there. Easy maintenance, being a two-stroke. It's designed to be luggable. I actually had a hard time debating between my 17 300RR and an Xtrainer. As of right now, I don't regret it, but let me tell you, riding around this thing, I easily could have bought an Xtrainer and been 100% happy. 100%, guys. So that's my, I don't know what time I'm at, probably over 5 minutes, but that's my 5-minute review of the 2019 Xtrainer. Again, sorry, I'm just putting around here in the field. We haven't hit the trails yet. But for all you guys that are thinking about getting an Xtrainer, I would say if you can ride one for a beta demo day, get on one. These bikes, a lot of fun. And if you're worried about the suspension, I say don't be. Because at the end of the day, we know that you can, just like any suspension, you can sink a little bit of money into it, and then you have a full-blown race bike, which a lot of people are doing. Awesome, awesome bike, and a great setup.